At issue this week, keeping children safe online, the steps parents can take to protect their kids from people looking to do them harm. Coming to town with big events planned, Philadelphia is expecting a tourism surge in 2026. Now, what can the city do to keep people coming back in 2027 and beyond? And Day of Service will preview the massive volunteer effort that honors the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
NBC10 at Issue starts now.
I'm Valeria Aponte Feliciano. Welcome to NBC10 at Issue. Keeping children safe from predators while online, a recent case in New Jersey highlights the potential dangers of online platforms. A New Jersey man is behind bars after police say he repeatedly raped a 12-year-old girl. Police say Alex Torres Lopez met the girl online through Roblox and Snapchat. Investigators say Lopez drove more than an hour from Bridgeton to Trenton on multiple occasions to meet her in person. It allegedly didn't stop there. Police say he asked the girl to send him explicit images and videos of herself. Several lawsuits have been filed against Roblox, alleging the platform doesn't do enough to protect children. NBC10 reached out to Roblox for comment, and they sent us the following statement. We're deeply saddened to hear of this troubling incident. We're investigating internally and are committed to working with law enforcement. Roblox has zero tolerance for criminal behavior or child endangerment. Our platform is built with safety at its core, with policies that go beyond many other platforms. We limit chat for younger users, don't allow user-to-user image sharing, and have filters designed to block the sharing of personal information. While no system is perfect, our commitment to safety never ends, and we continue to evolve and strengthen our protections every day. Roblox recently rolled out new facial age check requirements for its users. Anyone on the platform who wants to chat with others now has to complete it. Roblox says these checks limit communication between adults and children, making the experience safer and age-appropriate for young users. NBC10 also reached out to Snapchat for a response, and Snapchat tells us the safety of their users is a top priority, and they tell us they continue to work on making it more difficult for predators to find and interact with teens on Snapchat. For more on what parents can do to protect their kids, we're joined by cybersecurity expert Matt Burnett. Welcome, Matt. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for being here with us. I want to start asking you about what are some of the basic things parents can do to make sure their kids can enjoy their time online while staying safe?
Yeah, I think when it comes to parenting your children as they're using online services like Roblox and things like that, you want to make sure that you have kind of a two-phased approach. And the first one is education. So don't be afraid to talk to your children. Let them know that there are safety concerns out there with being online. Teach them no personal info ever, right? So don't talk about where you live, don't talk about where you go to school, don't talk about where you hang out, or any of those kinds of pieces of information that an attacker might be able to use to figure out where your child lives. And then the second piece is going to be the technology piece, where you're implementing controls to prevent some of that activity. So disabling direct messaging, or disabling party chat, or disabling other interaction features for children. And that's probably specific to the ones under 13, but taking that healthy skepticism for all online use is going to be a good start.
When it comes to Roblox, what are the specific security features parents need to be aware of?
So there's the direct messaging piece where you can interact with other users kind of in a one-on-one private chat. That's something that can be disabled. So you might want to look into that. There's also party chat, or kind of a group chat where you can disable that as well, and for much the same reason. And other than that, other types of education about, what you should say and what you shouldn't say if those things are enabled.
Tell us about some of the biggest red flags parents should look out for.
Yeah, you want to make sure that your child's not spending too much time online, for a lot of health and safety reasons, but also that's an indicator that they may be engaged in a very intense conversation with another human being. And as we've seen before, not everybody is who they say they are online. So you just want to be very skeptical of anybody that your child is talking to on there. And many times it's friends and family and everything is safe and good, but you don't want to be the one case where it's not, or somebody isn't who they say they are.
For some parents, talking about this with their children can be difficult, especially if parents aren't familiar with the platforms and technology their kids are using. But how important is it for parents to talk to their kids about what's going on and the dangers that are there when using these platforms?
The danger is always there, and that's the problem with these online services and the shadow nature of the internet is you just don't know who's on the other side. And so I know these conversations are scary, and I know that sometimes it's hard to, like, where do I start, right? How do I have that conversation? Certainly there are resources out there for parents. I would check with the school, and I would check with any guidance counselors or professional therapists for just kind of that entry point. But having that open communication, that dialogue with your child is going to be the first step to protecting them.
And what can parents do to educate themselves and become more tech savvy about today's popular online spaces?
Yeah, most of these social media platforms, especially ones that cater to children, they're always going to have some sort of frequently asked questions section, so you can go on there and see what security controls are available, what parental controls are available, how can they lock down the platform for their child. And then, again, any of those technical controls like disabling chats or anything that's inappropriate for your child based on their age, those are going to be the technical implementations. And then you can always reach out to the provider themselves. There's usually a support email or maybe sometimes a phone number, and just say, hey, these are the things I'm considering.
What would you say to a parent who thinks this couldn't happen to my child? There is no need for me to talk to them about this.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's always, it never happens to your child until it happens to your child. And unfortunately, once it happens, there's no going back. And if you look even in our area, right, there's been recent cases, even the last couple of years, I've spoken about this before, where, kids are kidnapped right from their house. They're lured right outside. They're picked up from their softball game, or they're picked up from their house right in the driveway and taken to another state. And once that happens, it's too late to say, I wish I hadn't done that, or I wish that I had paid more attention. So pay attention now, do everything you can, and then, hope that it doesn't happen to your kids.
Matt Burnett, cybersecurity expert and the CEO of 7X. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us.
Of course.
Still ahead on this edition of NBC10 at Issue, tourism surge. Philadelphia is expected to be a top travel destination in 2026. Ahead, what local leaders are doing to make sure visitors not only enjoy their stay, but decide to come back again. Welcome back to NBC10 at Issue. Philadelphia is getting ready to welcome visitors from around the world this year as America celebrates its 250th birthday. And with that, the city hopes to see billions of dollars in economic impact. Visitors are expected to flood the region over several months. The Xfinity Mobile Arena will host several NCAA games during March Madness. The PGA Championship is returning to Newtown Square in May. And this summer, the World Cup will come to Lincoln Financial Field, and Citizens Bank Park will host the MLB All-Star Game. This past week, NBC10's Miguel Martinez Valle spoke to industry leaders about how they are preparing to meet the moment.
A meeting of the minds bringing tourism leaders from across the world to Philadelphia for the Professional Convention Management Association Conference. The convention, one of more than 20 big events the city's hosting in 2026, making Philly the perfect place for other tourism leaders to learn and grow.
Having the opportunity to listen to what the U.S. is doing, basically, we know USA is more than prepared to get together all the people that are coming here, but we are trying to see the opportunities to bring Colombia here. What else can we do?
Philly leaders tell me getting to this moment has taken years. They first put Philly in to try for a World Cup bid back in 2017. Since then, teams have focused on planning for major celebrations like America's 250th birthday, while also bringing in other prestigious events like the WWE and MLB All-Star Week.
Any other major city would have bragging rights to either host this event, it's a big deal in our industry, or any one of those World Cup, MLB, all those others. For the city of Philadelphia to host every one of those events, that is, and I'll quote our governor only in letters, a big deal.
A big deal with a huge impact. The Philadelphia Convention and Visitors Bureau estimates from events alone, Philly will welcome over 1.5 million overnight visitors, who will spend more than $950 million, which is projected to have a $1 billion economic impact. The challenge isn't just bringing people in, it's keeping people coming back. To help with visitor experience, the Visitor Center rolled out the Fambassadors program, which has seen around 8,000 Philadelphians sign up.
These are folks who are ready to welcome the visitors coming into our city, connect them with our amazing tourism experiences, and give them their own welcome wagon to Philadelphia.
Joining us now is Jessica Calder, the Senior Vice President of Advancement and External Affairs for Visit Philadelphia. Jessica, welcome. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Planning for 2026 has been going on for years. So how ready is Philadelphia, and how much still needs to be done to ensure that this year is a success?
Philadelphia is ready to welcome the world to the most exciting year Philadelphia has seen in a very long time. We have been planning for many years, as you have mentioned, and this has truly been a collaborative effort across the tourism and hospitality industry, city government, lots of our cultural attractions across the city. I think everyone sees the incredible opportunity and has been working hard to make sure we're ready.
It's definitely a year packed with so many big events, but I'm sure you guys want people to come back and tell other people to come to Philadelphia. So what's the strategy for making sure that when tourists go back home, they tell folks that Philadelphia is a great place to visit?
Well, we are in a very lucky position that here in Philadelphia, one of the top reasons that people come to visit is to visit friends and family. And we have so many amazing people here in the Philadelphia area, and we want to make sure they invite all their friends and family to come and come back again. And I think that this year is the year to do it. If anybody has been thinking about coming to Philadelphia, 2026 is the time. We have an incredible slate of offerings that runs the whole year, obviously with a lot of focus around June and July with the semi-quincentennial and FIFA World Cup. But we also have lots of other sports offerings, arts and cultural festivals, historical celebrations that run the whole year long.
Have you guys learned any lessons from other cities that hosted major events? Are there things you've seen that they did right that helped them keep the tourist interest high after their big events ended?
Yeah, well, I think also we have our internal knowledge here in Philadelphia of some of the big events that we have hosted, as well as the opportunity to learn from other cities as well. And so we have been putting all of that knowledge to work, and Visit Philadelphia has been working hard over the last several years in terms of our marketing campaigns around Philadelphia have really focused on all the things that people maybe don't know about Philadelphia. Because what we have found is that once people come here one time, they come back again, because they come here thinking they know what Philadelphia is all about, Independence Hall or cheesesteaks. But then when they get here, they find all of the incredible arts and culture and history and other things, and it gets them to come back, all of those hidden gems. So we've been working hard to ensure, as we market all of these major events and opportunities, that people get to know the real Philadelphia and get to see all of those hidden gems that make them want to come back again and again. And in 2026, it's even easier because we have so many exciting other events and opportunities for people to come to. And no matter what your interest is, there is something in 2026 for you.
Of all the 2026 events, is there one you think will be the most lucrative for the city? Which event stands out?
Well, I will say definitely, the FIFA World Cup is really a, amazing once in a generation opportunity. We are expecting 500,000 attendees or people to come for the World Cup itself. So it definitely has some major impact that is on a larger scale than we have seen for lots of things. I think the fact that that will also be happening along with so many other events really is this opportunity to lift a tide of activity and have an incredible impact on the city of Philadelphia, not just in 2026, but to have that momentum build for 27 and 28 and beyond.
Jessica Coulter, Senior Vice President of Advancement and External Affairs for Visit Philadelphia. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Well, NBC10 has a full guide of everything in store for us this year as we prepare to celebrate America's 250th birthday and all the other events that we've been mentioning. You can find all the information on NBC10.com and the free NBC10 app. Just search the words America 250. Keeping Dr. King's legacy alive. Ahead, we'll show you how use the MLK holiday as an opportunity to give back to your community.
This is NBC 10 at Issue.
Tomorrow is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. For many, it's not a day off, it's a day on, as they use the holiday as a time to give back. The largest MLK service event in the nation is right here in Philadelphia. Joining us for more is Todd Bernstein, organizer of the Greater Philadelphia Martin Luther King Day of Service. Welcome, Todd. Thank you so much for being here today.
Good morning.
Todd, this year's event is at Temple University. In the past years, it's been at Girard College. Tell us about the new location.
Temple University has a rich history with Dr. King. Actually, on August 3rd, 1965, Dr. King came to the Baptist Temple on the college campus as part of his Freedom Now tour, which was promoting civil rights action and legislation all over the country. So it's particularly, I think, poignant that at a school that promotes educating diverse populations, and Dr. King's presence brings it full circle.
Of course. If people come out to volunteer for the event tomorrow, what can they expect? And tell us about some of the signature project opportunities at this year's Day of Service event.
If anyone still wants to come out and participate in a service project or a health fair or any one of hundreds of opportunities throughout the region, they can go to our website at MLKDayofService.org. Temple will serve as the regional hub. We'll have 110 organizations that are involved. Our signature project, with the theme of Dr. King's commitment to civil rights through equity and education, will be constructing book arcs, which are, if you picture the little libraries that we see in the front of people's homes around the city, these are much larger. They will provide literacy materials and books for organizations that will be adopting them in underserved communities throughout the city. We'll also be assembling literacy kits, which will be distributed through the city through our Global Citizen Reading Captains program to promote literacy among children up to the grade 4. And we'll be packing books, thousands of them donated by Scholastic, that will be a part of the book arcs. That's just one project. There will be dozens and dozens more at Girard College. They are all pre-registered, but the public can come to our health and wellness fair with many health-related organizations providing information, testing and demonstrations. We have our 14th annual Jobs and Opportunity Fair. Dr. King said that if a man doesn't have a job, he has neither life, liberty, or the pursuit of happiness. He merely exists. So in the spirit of Dr. King's fight for economic justice, we'll have about 50 local employers who will be providing opportunities for real jobs where people are ready to hire now. We'll have a kids carnival that people are welcome to bring their kids to at Temple, learning more about Dr. King, doing crafts projects, watching speeches, and reading stories about Dr. King.
I wanted to ask you about what's happening following the volunteer event, because people also can enjoy a musical performance. Tell us about that.
We've had now a 12-year partnership with Global Citizen and the King Day of Service with the Philadelphia Orchestra, the fabulous Philadelphians as they're known, at 3 o'clock tomorrow in Marian Anderson Hall at the Kimmel Center for Performing Arts. Will be the 36th annual Martin Luther King tribute concert. And it's an incredible event. And tickets are free, and I believe they're still available if anyone goes to philorg.org.
Todd, thank you so much for being here with us at Issue.
Thank you so much.
For more information on this year's MLK Day of Service event, just go to NBC10.com/findit10. We'll be right back.
This is NBC10 at Issue.
Before we wrap this edition of NBC10 at Issue, a reminder about a new chapter starting for New Jersey this week. On Tuesday, Mikey Sherrill will be sworn in as the state's governor, replacing Governor Phil Murphy, whose term is up. In November, Sherrill became just the second woman and first Democratic woman elected governor of the Garden State. Look for coverage of her inauguration on our NBC Philadelphia News streaming channel. That does it for this edition of NBC10 at Issue. Thanks for joining us. I'm Valeria Aponte Feliciano. Have a great day.